going to be always on Tuesdays at the same time, and it will be, I am going to be doing it around my team coach class. So I am teaching a team coaching certification that is Tuesday mornings, every other Tuesday. So the Tuesday that we don't have classes, when we're going to have once a month this space to bring all of the graduates from the programs and everybody who's interested in team coaching. So we're building this network of team coaches with the goal to provide a space to keep learning together. So for people who do not know me, my name is Damian Goldvarg, and I train coaches, mentor coaches, supervisors, and team coaches. And we have a team coaching certification, and I wanted to provide a learning space for the graduates. For the supervision program, we have the America's Coaching Supervision Network that we meet once a month. The third Monday of the month. We had the meeting last Monday, and the recordings are always available in our website and in YouTube. And in this session, talking about that, we are going to also record this session, and we are going to be sure that you can have access to the session later. Let's see, let me be sure here that everything is in place. Yes, we are recording. So I was telling, for people who do not know me, I have been working as a coach for almost 30 years. And something new, we have here graduates from my coaching, supervision, team coaching programs. I have been working on a book on leadership skills and coaching, and the book came out in Spanish a couple of weeks ago. So I'm very excited about that, and I am working with a publisher in the United States to publish it. It's already translated to English. So you will hear from me about this, and it's a book for leaders on coaching skills. And it's for coaches to work with clients to support them in developing coaching skills, and for leaders in general who are interested in being more effective leaders and including coaching skills as part of their job. So I'm using the ICF, International Coach Federation Competency Model, and seeing how they can apply to the work of the leader. So this is one of the news that I had to share with you. So today we have only 1 hour. I'm going to go really fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share a client, a case. I change many details so to protect confidentiality. So to protect confidentiality, many of the details have been changed, but the essence of what I want to share with you will be here. And for people who are not familiar at all with the team coaching and with the International Coach Federation framework, I am going to explain that so you can get a sense of where we are coming from. And then every month we will have a different case presentation. I already asked Inga here, who is a very experienced team coach and who supports me in my team coaching program, to do the next one. So we'll talk, Inga, about your calendar if you want to do it. And everybody is also welcome to do it. So if we have here any team coaches who have experience and who want to present a case, let me know, because this space is open for everybody who wants to here we are learning all together. Kimberly, you too. I don't know if you may have a case. You may consider that too. And well, they're here. And you're also certified with us in the team coaching program. So let's jump into this case. So let me give you first a framework of what is team coaching for people, because here we have team coaches who are already certified and people who are brand new to team coaching. So wherever you are in the continuum, I want to be sure that we are all aligned. Now, the International Coach Federation has a very specific framework around it, and that came up 2 years ago. So as a result of that, also ICF is providing an accreditation on team coaching. So what I'm going to share with you is how you look at the team and team coaching work from this framework. It's not the only one. There are some team coaches who may be doing something different, and it's okay. You know, we can choose different ways of working. There is not only one way. This is the way that ICF look at team coaching, in the same way that look at coaching. So I think most of you are accredited by the International Coach Federation, but if you are not, the idea is that when you are coaching clients, you are not providing advice. You're not a consultant. You're not an expert. But you are somebody who provides a reflective space for the client to do the work. You provide a container for the client to do the work. So when the client is dealing with whatever challenges they are working or whatever goals they are working, our goal is not to tell them what to do, in this framework, but to support them to come up with their own solutions, and always going in two directions, from the present to the future, from where they are to where they want to be, and from the surface to the depth. What they are saying is going on, and exploring underlying beliefs, underlying experiences, underlying fears, or whatever it is, whatever are blind spots for the client to accomplish what they want to accomplish. So this is a little bit the philosophy of ICF. And in team coaching is the same. When we're working as team coaches, we are not telling teams what to do, but we are holding the space so they can come up with their own solutions. Though teams are going to ask you what to do. Like clients, individual clients, they also ask us what to do, even they know that this is not part of an important part of what we do. But there is a space. After clients have done their work, we can provide resources, we can provide some best practices, but not at the beginning of a coaching session, but at the end of the coaching session when the client is coming up with a plan of action. So ICF differentiates team coaching from other modalities, like team building, where the person facilitating team building supports the team to build the relationship and people get to know each other. Or facilitation, where the team has a goal and the role of the facilitator is to support the team to accomplish the agenda. In team coaching, the team coach is not responsible for that agenda. The team coach is responsible to support the team in the process towards the goal that they have. But at the end of the day, the agenda is not set up by the coach, but by the team. And one big difference between individual and team coaching is that in team coaching, you work with the leader. So there is a specific dynamic between the coach, the leader, and the participant of the team. What makes this job complex? And that's the reason why the International Coach Federation also recommends people to work with a supervisor. Why? Because of the complexity of the work, working with a supervisor to, again, not to tell you what to do, because it's supervision, unfortunately, has a negative connotation about guidance or management. The word supervision, we split it into supervision in English, and for ICF, it's about an EMCC, European Mentor and Coaching Council, who has a specific framework around supervision. It's about creating a reflective space to think and reflect and learn from our experience. So the supervisor support us in reflecting on the work we do. And for team coaching, it's mandatory to apply for a credential or to renew the credential, the idea that you also work with a supervisor. So let me show a few slides. I wonder if there are any questions so far in this fast introduction. I know that sometimes I speak fast, by the way, in all languages that I speak. So even in Spanish, people don't follow me sometimes. So you ask me, what questions you may have so far. Any questions? Yes, Connie.
So I recently heard somebody that is within an organization as a team coach and ICF, and he said that 78% of team coaching is facilitation. And I'd love to hear if your thoughts on that and if you agree.
I do believe that there is a time for facilitation in team coaching. So the position of ICF is that there are different modalities when you're working with teams, including team coaching, facilitation, team building, team training. The team may need to have a conversation and a discussion about what makes teams effective. But that's not team coaching. It's like if you're working with a leader and you're giving a lecture or a brief presentation training what makes a leader effective. And there is nothing wrong about it, and sometimes it's great to do it, but it's not what ICF would call coaching. Now, as professionals, we know that clients need different things. So sometimes this pure model of coaching may not apply to all of the clients. So we need to know when is the right combination that we need to apply from all of these different modalities, what is the right combination. So for example, we are going to talk about the case. In team coaching, like in coaching, we work with a team assessment. Like if you work with executives or in organizations, most of the time, at the beginning of the process, there is an assessment. Will you agree with me? Most of you who work with executives, do you have some kind of assessment at the beginning? Do you do some testing or 360 or something to collect some data before you start the process? In team coaching, we do the same. It's not mandatory, but it's a good practice to assess where the team is at, what is working well, what is not working, what they can be more effective. And Connie, at that time, you need to facilitate the conversation with the participants about this, for example. What are the strengths or what are the results of if you do surveys, for example, and you interview every participant. So you will facilitate the conversation, but that is done just in some occasions. If you are facilitating, you are not doing team coaching according to ICF. Your role as a team coach is to first clarify what are the goals for the team, what needs to be accomplished, like you would do in any coaching. And then during the sessions, you're there to intervene, asking questions or sharing observations or helping the team to look at themselves and to see what is working and what is not working when they're working together. So if you have a directive role or an active role facilitating, you are taking the role of the leader. That's the role of the leader, to facilitate the meetings. The role of the coach is to contract with the leader how they are going to be working together. So when the leader is facilitating the meetings and the work that is being done, the coach is there to support the leader and the team in the work that they're doing together. So for example, that would look like at the beginning, you agree about what would be the team working on and what they want from you as a team coach. And then if you are, for example, working virtually, you may turn off your camera. And then at one point, you may turn on your camera and say, okay, I want to invite everybody to stop for a minute and to reflect what's going on here. And maybe ask a question. What do you think is happening here? What are you doing that is not effective? Or what is doing that is effective that you want to continue doing? So basically, the role of the team coach is to provide this opportunity for the team to look at things that they will not do by itself. So that would be the way that I see it present team coaching. Now, there are variables. Sometimes you may facilitate sessions. So, for example, I see in my training program, many times team coaches are part of a retreat. So they have a retreat and they're facilitating. Well, that's not team coaching. That's facilitating a retreat. It's going to have the team, definitely yes. But in that part, there is going to be a time for team coaching where the team coach will stop the role of the facilitator of the retreat and will just sit as a team coach to observe the team working and provide spaces for reflection and learning.
Thank you.
It was a long answer. Makes sense for people what I'm talking about here, because it's a different way to look at team coaching. And many people do many different things under team coaching. So I wanted to have a perspective. So this is what I want to share with you today. So by the end of the session today, you know what are the frameworks. So if you're interested, you can be familiar with this, and we are going to be doing this every month with different teams. So let me share with you any other question before I share with you some of my slides?
Just a quick question, Damian.
Yes.
Is it going to be the same time and the same date and the same time in the month, the third Tuesday at this time, that will be the open meeting, or will that be different?
It will be Tuesdays and it will be at this time. What I am not sure is which weeks will be, because that will be around the team coaching certification that we're starting in May.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay, so the idea for the team coaching certification is every other Tuesday, and one of the Tuesdays we are not meeting. We have this space for the participants to come to and learn together with graduates and everybody who's interested. Thank you for asking. Okay, let me share with you. Okay, can you see my presentation? And only my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, good. So I want to share with you about my experience working with this team. First, just I was explaining what is a definition for team coaching. As you can see, if you read this definition, it's very close to the individual coaching definition. Partnering, it's a collaborative process. It's co-created. Here again, we are co-creating together. So this element of partnering and co-creating is the same. In a reflective process, that's similar. We have some supervisors here too that may sound familiar to you, talking about supervision and as a reflective process. with the team and its dynamics and relationships in a way that inspire them to maximize their abilities and potential in order to reach their common purpose and shared goals. So this definition has the partnering, the co-creative, the reflective space, the relationships. So here, what is interesting about our work as team coaches is looking at these relationships. And this is one of the other differences that make this job so interesting. We look at relationships because the idea of this approach is a systemic approach. We call it systemic team coaching because it's systemic because we are looking at the relationships. It's a system, it's a whole with parts that interrelate with each other. We define system in that way. We may say that the team is a system where there are different participants that interact with each other and with the leader and with other teams in the organization and with the organization as a whole and with other teams outside the organization. So we're very curious as team coaches, what are all of these relationships? What's going on in all of these dynamics? And what may be blind spots, what people are not seeing, or what they are seeing and not doing anything, because a very common behavior is avoidance. Many times people in teams avoid dealing with difficult or challenging conversations, and they would rather stay there than having these uncomfortable discussions. So part of the role of the team coach is to challenge the team to go to these places that are uncomfortable. So the team coach needs to be comfortable being uncomfortable with a team that may be uncomfortable. So if it is challenging for you to be in uncomfortable situations, team coaching is not for you. Because I promise, sooner or later, there are going to be uncomfortable situations and you are going to be in the middle, and how you navigate these conversations will require a lot of your presence. So ethical standards is about like an individual compared to team coaching. And this document is available in the website, in the International Coach Federation website. You can download it and explain this framework, these competencies. But the idea is that in the first competency is about clarifying to the team what is team coaching and the differences that I share with you about different modalities. Also looking at the team as a single entity. The team is your client, and the leader is part of that team. And also being clear about what modality you are using and choosing the right modality to work at the right time. Now, in my case, working with this team, what I can tell you is that first I was working with the leader of the team. And the leader of the team, we were talking about his development, and in part of the work that we have done together is how he could be more effective leading his team and leading meetings and supporting his team. So at one point, I offered him, would you consider for me to work with your team to support it, to go to the next level of performance? So here again, we are not coming to fix the team. We are coming to support the team to maximize its potential, to be more effective, to go to the next level. So if the team has a lot of conflict and there are a lot of issues with the team, maybe what the team may need is conflict resolution or consulting, not necessarily coaching. Coaching, like in individual coaching, is to help the team to maximize its potential, to go from good to great. So this is the emphasis. So I offered him, would you be interested in working with the team to support the team to go from good to great? And he said, yes, I'm definitely interested. He got the funding, and he decided to first ask the team if the team was interested in going through that. So he asked me to write a description, what was team coaching and the process. So basically, I put together a brief document where I explain this is the definition of team coaching, this is what we're going to be doing. And he presented that in a meeting, and everybody agreed to participate. And I meet with them to introduce myself and answer any questions they may have. And in that process, I spent a lot of time clarifying what was team coaching. And I'm working on the contract. Because when we're working with teams, we know that contracting is key for the coach to be effective, and then for our job as team coaches to be effective working with them. And this brings us to the second competency that is a team coaching mindset. A team coach mindset means that the team coach keeps learning and growing. So that's the reason why I created this space for team coaches to keep coming and learning together. and also remains objective and aware of team dynamics and patterns. And so understanding team dynamics and group dynamics is an important element of this work. And also in terms of development, getting supervision. As you can see, supervision is a key element of this framework. So in contracting, that is our third competency, I meet with them, not in person. I met virtually, but they were all in person. What is interesting, this is all of the different hybrid combinations. In this case, they were all meeting in person in Argentina, in Latin America, and I was virtually, but one of the members was in a different country virtually. So we were two joining virtually, and people were from all over the Latin America and Spain. And I briefly introduced myself and my client introduced me. And that was important because that gave me credibility. To start building credibility with the team, if the leader introduced me, that make a difference. Now, there is a whole position about working or not with the team of the leader. So sometimes I may refer the team to work with a different coach. Some people consider that it's better to have different coaches for the team than for the leader. Some people work with both. So there are two ways to look at it. There is not one perfect answer. I think it will depend on the context. Sometimes you may consider that it's more appropriate or more effective use different coaches for the team than for the leader. And in this case, I thought that was effective and appropriate, and that is why I offer it. And that worked this way. But you also want to be aware of that. Not necessarily if you are coaching a leader, you may be the best team coach for that team. But you want to be aware of the effective and benefits of team coaching, because if you are not, you may not even recommend that to the team. So part of our work is also to bring more visibility and understanding of what is team coaching, so you can refer that service to other people, particularly if you don't have any training as a team coach. I do believe that you do need to have some training as a team coach to be able to provide this service. So I went to the team. So he introduced me. So that gave me credibility because he had good things to say about working with me together, collaborating. So that helped me to build trust. And that is the fourth competency, building trust, that helped for me to build trust with the participants. I briefly explained what we're going to be doing. I answered a couple of questions. There were not many questions. And then I explained that I will be meeting with them individually, just to collect data and to understand where they were coming from and how they saw the team. So I gave them the questions in advance. And I do believe that it's a good practice when you provide questions in advance. So I share, these are 3 questions that we're going to be discussing. I want you to share, what do you think that this team is doing that is effective? What do you think that the team can be more effective? And the third question is, what suggestions do you have for this team to be more effective? So I interviewed the 6 members, and I prepared a report to meet with them to discuss the report and to come up with a plan of work together. So this is both the process. In maintaining agreement, the competency for ICF is about, again, explaining what is team coaching. So there is a relationship between competency 3, agreement, and ethical issues, like in individual coaching. And then also partnering with other parties. So we need to pay attention who is inviting us to do the team coaching. In this case, the leader was the one who was the sponsor too of this activity, was not another party. But many times organizations may have a third party like human resources, or maybe the boss of the team coach leader suggests to have this intervention, to have this work done. And what is maybe interesting is that the goals for this team coach may be different between the sponsor, the leader, and the team. So this can be challenging for the team coach to align what different stakeholders want from this process. So you need to have conversations with all of the stakeholders together to decide what will be the focus of the team coaching. And particularly having conversation with the leader about partnering together, so there is no competition. Sometimes team leaders may feel competition with a coach, may feel intimidated. So this relationship is key for the success of the team coach engagement. In this case, I had a very good relationship with my client. He was very supportive, and I explained that my role was not facilitating. The only thing that I facilitated was the result of the survey. Everything else, I just was there, observe, provide, comment, ask questions, engage the team to learn about their experiences. So here is when I interview every member, and I came up with some results that I want to share with you. Before doing that, I want to share that trust, we're talking about trust and the importance of building this trust in team coaching. Why? When you're working one-on-one, you need to build trust with one person. But when you work with a team coach, you need to build trust with every participant, with every member. And when one of the members may not trust you or the process, that may hinder the whole development of the experience. So you need to intentionally build trust, build a relationship, and these interviews are a perfect place for that. When you interview participants one-on-one, it's a great way to get to know them, get to see their perspective, collect data to understand the team, and build trust with each member, because you get to know them, you connect with them. So when you come to work with the whole team, it's much easier. So let me stop here for a minute and let me see, before I share some of the outcomes of these surveys, any questions that you have about the process so far.
Well, this is Tuula. Hello.
Hi, Tula, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I have one way of working, and I would like hear your opinion about it. When there is about 7 people in the managerial group, which I was team coaching, and I done the same thing, that I interviewed them separately, and then I went to their normal meeting to observe how the connections and dynamics is there. And then I gave the feedback what I saw, and that was quite astonishing when they realized how they behave, the nonverbal, the nonverbal language and so on. What do you think about it?
I do believe it's great, because that will give you information about what you observe. So you base your feedback in behaviors. The most specific, the better. And it's a lot of value, because if you would have not been there, nobody would have given them that information. So I do believe that feedback is a gift. Now, what it can be challenging is the budget, to see what is the budget that the organization has for us to go. Like, for example, when I share with you, I have only these 3 questions because I didn't have a budget for interviews. What does it mean? Like, each interview can last 1 hour, and you can have a lot of great questions to ask. But they didn't give me a budget, so I had to use my own time for that. Okay, they pay me well for the whole package. So, okay, it was okay at the end of the day. But if you can include that, what you should include is you should include interviewing as part of the package. When you sell your services as a team coach, you may have 1 hour. So you have 1 hour, you don't need to ask 3 questions, but they have 15 minutes. It was like a short opportunity. But if I could have gone and even observed them working, that would have been amazing. But sometimes you don't. So you have the resources. It's always great shadowing. I do believe that shadowing provides a lot of value. And always remember, when we are shadowing, just the fact that we are there changes the dynamics of whatever is happening. Can you see that just our presence impact whatever is happening? So I have a colleague of mine, Susie Warman, who is also a team coach. We work with us in our certification, and she was doing a presentation, and she shared she has one client in particular that she worked with a team in the past many years ago, and they keep telling her to come to the meetings. And the leader said, you know what? You don't need to say anything if you don't want to. Just you being there make the team to be more effective working together, because they're being observed. So they are in best behavior. So come, join us, just to be there, support our team to be more effective. Can you see that? But of course, this is a result of years of building trust and a relationship. But I do believe that our presence can enhance the work of the team. But sometimes just being there enhances the team, because people are making an effort in doing their best. Can everybody see this point? So Tula, thank you for sharing that, because shadowing is always great. Any other questions or comments or observations?
So Damian, just real quick, so the person that that didn't trust, did you figure that out in the interview that there was a trust issue? And then did you coach that individual on trusting the process?
In this case, I didn't have to do that, but in another cases, yes, you have to do exactly that.
Okay.
The problem is when you don't realize that that is happening. So that's the reason why we need to be paying a lot of attention. And this is our sixth competency that is about, fifth competency about presence. It's our presence, it's the quality of our presence. Just to pay attention and being aware of what may be happening, what is said and then listening, what is said and what is not said. You can see all of the competencies are related, but you need to be paying attention to that. You need to be intentional. And that's the reason why sometimes it's okay and appropriate to work with a co-coach. When you work with a co-coach, you have the opportunity to check with each other to see what you may or not may be paying attention or realizing that is going on in the system. And the disadvantage of team coaching is sometimes there is not a budget to have two people. Sometimes you need to be sure that you have a really great relationship with each other, because if you don't, that can be a problem. Kimberly smile because we know some challenges that is key when the two team coaches don't get along.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Damian, because a few things. First of all, I would definitely recommend working with a co-coach for presence, for community, for everything. And yes, it is so important that we have a great relationship, or at least we're willing to work on this relationship, because I would say that 60% of supervision, team coaching supervision I do is not about the team, me and the team, me as a leader, but me and another co-coach. So it's what's going on in this relationship, because remember, you model, when you work with a co-coach, you model teamwork for the team as well, how you behave. At the same time, going back to observing what was said, what is not said. And Damian, I'm pretty sure that you taught me this as well. So I feel that it is important to mention that while you contracting the agreement with the team, make sure that they understand that your interventions will be about what is said in the room and what's not. Because when suddenly we comment or intervene on some tension or emotional things which are happening and we haven't contracted it with the team, they might feel like, oh, what's going on here? So that's the important part of education, but as well of the contracting that we just contracted.
Excellent point. So contracting. Spend a lot of time in contracting with the client, with the leader, and with your co-coach. And in terms of the co-coach, also it's important in this time of contracting is together assessing if the team is ready for coaching. Because it may be the case that the team is not ready for coaching. What does it mean? If the team have issues for what is very common, that the team have issues with the leader. They don't trust the leader. And as I share with you, in a case that I share, the leader really trusts me and brought me to do the team coaching intervention. But the team has had a really great relationship with the participant of this team. If I will be brought by a team leader and the team leader does not have a good relationship with the members, or the members do not trust the leader, automatically the team members may not trust you. Can you see that as a possibility? And you may not know that till you are in the middle of the work. At the beginning, you get a picture, and then you start in the interviews, and you realize that there is a big issue and there is a big problem with the leader, that the members don't trust the leader. So you cannot do a lot of the work that you need to do with the team till that issue is solved first. Or you may say, I doing the evaluation and we realize that there is work that needs to be done to build trust with the team before we do anything here. Can anybody see the point here? Because that would be like a big elephant in the room. You are there trying to do some work, and then the team members do not trust the leader, do not trust why you are there with the leader. they may not understand what is team coaching. Listen, this is one of the big challenges here we have as team coaching is a new, I would say new, not really new because there are team coaches working with team for many years, but now people are more aware as a possibility, as an opportunity, but people don't understand what is team coaching. They don't know what is team coaching, and we need to explain it many times. And I can say that because this is another client who is open about it. I work for the United Nations for 20 years. One of the organization won an award from ICF and went public, so it's public information. I am not sharing any confidential information. It's the UN Secretariat, part of the work that I did with them as a coach and team coach. And I offered them team coaching and I need to do recordings for my training. And I said, okay, I will do it for free. Just offer me, in exchange of doing for free, I will record the sessions, but I will do it for free. So they say, oh, that's great. And they recommended me to 3 different teams. Well, number one, the first one, it was not a team. We were a group of leaders that never met in person, like never met. It's like, was an office where like they were different leaders that they were doing their own thing. So this is another thing. What is a team to start with? Are we working with a team or are we working with a group? So, many times the people that we're working with, they're not having a goal in common. They don't need to collaborate to produce results. But it's okay. You can still do the work. But that's not necessarily team coaching. It's more like group coaching because you're supporting each member to be successful in their own. That's the difference between group coaching and team coaching. In group coaching, you work with individuals and everyone has specific goals and you support them to be more successful. In team coaching, you work with a team as a team where you support all of them to work together to achieve one common goal. Can you hear the difference? Team coaching, one goal for everybody. Group coaching, one goal for each person. So I say, no, I'm sorry, this is group coaching, and I need to do team coaching to demonstrate that, so it will not work. Second team, they come in, what we really want you to do is team training. We want you to train the leaders about how to be good team coaching. I say, oh, that's great, but this is not team coaching. I need them to commit to come and work together in Camina with the goal, and I will be supporting them. When at the end, I couldn't get any of them to make it work for different reasons. But as you can see, when you say team coaching, organization, people in HR, not everybody still knows what it is. So you need to clarify it and be very clear about that. So let me share with you some of the results. And based on that, we're going to go to small groups to discuss for 5 minutes, whatever time we have to finish the results. And what do you think as a team coach, if you get these results, the question for you is, what questions will you have? Okay, so I'm going to share the results from the interviews. And based on these interviews, what questions you may have as a coach, as possible questions you may want to explore during the session. Though every session is unique and different, but what are the things that you will be curious and you will want to have in your awareness, even though we don't have an agenda? Is that clear what we're going to do? So I'm going to repeat, I'm going to share with you the results from the surveys and in the interviews. And I want you to tell me what is in your mind, what questions you may have that you would like to explore with the team. So what I did is I interviewed everybody, I prepared a report, and then I just changed the report now, so it's not the same, but it has some similar points. I cut it in half. So what you're going to see is now half of the report, and I changed it just for confidentiality, even though I didn't disclose anything from this team. So let me share the next slide. Okay, it's a team based in Argentina with members from all Latin American countries and Spain. There are 6 members and the leader, and they work in a university, and they work on a program related to social change, and they are researchers. They do research projects. So what are some of the team strengths? Diversity and inclusion. They feel that they have a lot of diversity in terms of countries, cultures, and when they have new members, they are really welcoming, and they get everybody involved and engaged. Balanced expertise. There are people with a lot of experience, but there are also very new members from the 6. Half are very experienced and half are new. But there is not this distinction between the old and the new. They are all collaborating and learning and supporting each other. And there are strong interconnections. So they are very effective at building relationships with each other. So they have some of the Latin American closeness, building relationship and putting emphasis in getting to know each other, what helps for collaboration. And they have candid communication. They are able to be very expressive and share their ideas, and they respect each other. So these are some of the strengths. Some of the areas of opportunities for this team are meetings, productivity, how productive they are in the meetings. Some part is related to the leadership, the facilitation of these meetings not being as effective. Starting on time, or going overtime, maybe having some meetings that were not necessary. And the other piece that came up is about exchange of information. Not everybody, even though everybody was able to express themselves, many times they were not sharing a lot of information about what they were doing, because different people have different projects, and sometimes they were not aware and familiar with projects from other participants of the team. And also it was sometimes not completely clear what was the purpose of the team together, what was the common thread and the common themes and the alignment to the organization. So there were lack of alignment between each other and with the organization overall, with the vision. And by the way, this is a good question also to have in interviews. When we ask in interviews, what are the strengths, what are areas of opportunity, this is an interesting question to include during interviews, is what do you see as the vision or the mission of this team? What do you think, how clear that is? That's another area that we'll be interested in exploring. And challenges to address as a result of all of that. Some of the things that came up as a result of these interviews is the issue of the meeting duration, people spending too much time in meetings and how productive the meetings are in terms of how everybody is engaged or not participating, and having common goals together to strengthen their sense of unity. So this is some of the results. And if I would be in your shoes, I would have a lot of questions. Okay, because I didn't give you a lot of information. That's okay. So let's go for, and I want to invite everybody to engage. And I know some people are with the camera off, but still I will invite you to share some of your thoughts or listen to your colleagues. So this is the time where people leave the meeting when they had to participate. So I want to invite you not to leave, to stay and learn and connect with other people. Okay, so I'm going to give you 8 minutes to do that, and then when we come back, we're going to debrief, and I would say what happened, how we ended the program. Okay, welcome back. We have a few minutes to hear from some of you. So I'm curious, what question do you have? What came up for you with this information? I know that I didn't give you a lot of information, but I give you something to start to think about these issues. What came up? Who would like to share?
I'll share.
Yes.
So my group, we really talked a lot about wanting to understand the dynamics of the team, even outside of this room. You know, how long have they been in this team, right? Where are we in this storming, norming, forming phase? We'd want to know if diversity is a strength, how also might it be maybe a detriment? You know, are there people in the room that maybe are butting heads culturally that we can address?
Or how you can leverage that strength. So
Yes,
we want to be thinking as team coaches also, okay, these are the strengths, how we can leverage them.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. and we talked a lot about, what's the background culture of the company, the background noise of how people are getting along and interacting. And we were wondering, why are the meetings running late? Why are they taking time? Is it that they're trying to build trust? And maybe that needs to be happening outside of these meetings, in terms of building up that company culture. And we also talked about, what was the other thing? Anna, can you jump in?
By the way,
Was a third point.
Rachel, what I want to bring to everybody's awareness is that from a systemic perspective, particularly around Peter Hawkins, when I took originally my training as a team coach from Peter Hawkins, so my perspective is very systemic, and I recommend his books. We use in our programs Peter Hawkins books and also David Clutterbuck books. They are pioneers in this field. And Peter Hawkins, more than Clutterbuck, is very interested in the stakeholders and other relationship with people outside the team. So this is something that we want to spend a lot of attention and say, okay, what is this team serving to? And not only internally, what are they doing and what is their goal, but also how are they serving to other stakeholders and what's happening around them. So that is also a great question to have for the interviews at the beginning of the process and during the process. So I want to just emphasize that point, what I think it's
So I
important.
remembered the last thing that I think it was Anna brought this up was, it's interesting that one of the strengths was candor, but then one of the opportunities for growth is around, not having a clear mission and vision. So I'm like, you guys are open and sharing things, but then you're not clear on this. So I'd really want to understand the interplay of that.
And what happened with the leader when some of these responsibilities, if you wait, maybe the leader has some responsibility around these issues, managing meetings, providing vision. Can everybody see that? That some of the things that came up in this were related to the team leader not being as effective in these things. So it's the whole team that needs to work on, or is the leader that needs to develop his own team leadership skills? Can everybody see that? That is a really good point that I want to bring to this case, because this is very common in team coaching, is that the leader is not effective as a leader. Not effective as a leader in general, maybe, and sometimes not very effective in facilitating. We're talking about facilitation skills. Not all leaders have effective facilitation skills. So sometimes they just need to take a training and learn how to facilitate, how to be sure that everybody's engaged, being on time, and then the other, what is much bigger conversation, is about strategic thinking. And many times leaders have challenges in articulating in language and bringing to conversation on consistent basis. What is the vision, where you are going, what are the priorities? So that's something also that was missing here. Thank you for sharing that. Who other group would like to share?
I thought we enjoyed a very fascinating conversation. Michelle had the observation that things weren't really aligned when you really got into, everyone seems very happy to work together, but then you get into the questions, you find out they're really not aligned. There's contradictory. So then Chris shared that when her experience, I was saying you almost need to interview them 3 times to get beneath the surface. So Chris will do this minimum of 6-month engagement, or 6 engagements, not 6 months, so that they have to keep their commitments, to keep exposing, and develop a relationship and trust. And it creates trust that she's going to be there. So they felt more secure sharing and truly getting to the heart of what they needed to uncover to move forward together.
Great point. What I like to use is the metaphor of a mirror. The job of the team coach is to bring a mirror for the team to look at themselves. And many times the team see themselves much better than what they really are. But sometimes they see themselves much worse than what they really are. Can you see that as a possibility? So we want to challenge people's beliefs about how they are seeing themselves and bring, based on what they are sharing, their own examples where they are being effective when they're not seeing it, or where they are not being effective when they think they are the best team in the world. Can everybody see? So this is what makes this job so interesting, is being able to provide that mirror and that space for reflection. So unfortunately, we need to wrap up. So thanks everybody. I know many people may have the commitment, so I don't want to pass the time set. I want to share a couple of things. Somebody was asking when we're going to be meeting, and Kimberly, I think it was you. I look at the calendar, and we have our certification is the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, every month. So we are going to keep the third Tuesday, the second and fourth Tuesday every month from 8 to 12 Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to keep this third Tuesday of the month to meet and have this open space for learning together. So for all of the graduates who are here, great to see you. Great to see some faces. Caitlin, I have not seen you in a while. And other people who have not seen in a while. It's great to see you, Marilyn. It's great to see you here. So the invitation is to keep joining us. It's always the third Tuesday of the month, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I also want to invite people who are not went through team coaching training to join our program. Here in the corner, there are many graduates from my program. I am offering you discounts so you can participate. So if money is an issue, let me know, because I wouldn't want you not to participate because of that. Okay, so I want to be sure that I can support you so you can be part of that. So everybody is welcome to the program. The only requirement for the program is you are an accredited coach or you have training as a coach. So because you cannot apply for an ICF accreditation as a team coach if you are not a coach first. So it's a requirement for you to have an ICF accreditation to be able to get a team coaching accreditation. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I'm going to stay here for a couple of minutes if anybody have any questions about that. In the chat box, I am going to put here my newsletter. I think some of you have my newsletter. If you don't receive my newsletter, you may want to do that. And I am going to stop the recording now, and I'm going to stay here if anybody have any questions about the program.